Okay, deel 3 is die vraag wat Thomas neergeskryf het om vir meneer Miller te vra. Okay, remember that he is not asking these questions directly. It is only the questions that he wrote down to ask Mr. Nicholas Miller. He wants to be well prepared when he speaks to Mr. Nicholas Miller. Vraag nommer 1. Waar kan ek meer uitvind oor die geskiedenis van die ou huise in die oranje zicht omgewing? Thomas sit terug en kyk skepties na die eerste vraag. Dit is so pateties, maar so gooi hy die ou heeltemal. Hy kan dan mos dink hy werk aan 'n geskiedenis dalk of iets. Nee, dis 'n goeie vraag om die ys mee te breek. Thomas frons, steek sy hand deur sy hare en dan skryf hy die tweede vraag neer. Okay, so in the first question, we get the area that Thomas and his family are living in, which is Oranje Zicht. Okay, and he's acting like he only wants to ask about the history of this area, so that Mr. Nicholas Miller thinks maybe he's busy with a history assignment. Vraag nommer 2. Is daar spesifieke inligting oor Parklaan beskikbaar? Dis sommer 'n vuishou vraag. Thomas voel erg tevrede. Hy begin dit selfs geniet. Dit lyk mos vir hom asof hy vrek goed is met hierdie tipe van ding. Begin wyd en trek die net dan nouer. As daar inligting oor hulle straat beskikbaar is, dan moet daar mos iets oor hulle huis ook wees. Want hy is seker daar is nie hande afgekap en mense vermoor in die ander huise nie. Nou moet hy begin fokus op die huis self. Okay, so here he is asking about the street that they are living in, which is Parklaan. Okay, so now we get the address. We have Parklaan in Oranje Zicht. Okay, and he's feeling like this is a good question because if there is any information about this street, there must be information on their house. Because Thomas is saying that it's not like a murder took place in every single house in that street. Vraag nommer 3. Was die huis baie verwaarloos toe julle begin werk het? Thomas kyk na die vraag en trek dit dan dood. Dis 'n simpel vraag. Die ou kan mos net ja of nee sê en dan sit hy wat Thomas is met 'n eier op sy gesig. Hy wil nie die praatwerk doen nie. Meneer Miller moet die inligting uitspoeg. So he wrote down the question asking whether the house was neglected, and then he decides to scratch out this question because Mr. Nicholas Miller can reply with a yes or a no. And Thomas actually wants Mr. Nicholas Miller to elaborate on information about this house. So he decides to take that question out. Vraag 4. Watter dele van die huis het die meeste aandag nodig gehad? Ja, dis beter. Nou moet die ou detail gee. Miskien moet hy vra oor sy kamer. Dis tog waar al die goed gebeur. Nee, wag. Laat hy eers met 'n ompad kom. Anders is dit te obvious. Okay, so here he is asking which parts of the house needed the most attention. Okay, and he's saying that this is a better question because then Mr. Nicholas Miller will have to give some detail. Okay, and eventually he wants to get to asking about his room because his room is the place in the house where the strange things are happening. Okay, but he doesn't want to make it too obvious when he's asking Mr. Nicholas Miller. Vraag 5. Het meeste van die ou goed in die huis behoue gebly of moes dit vervang word? Nou kan hy mos uitvind watter goed in die huis is oud en watter is nie. Die spooke en goeder sal mos nie van nuwe goed in die huis hou nie. Dis heeltemal te modern vir hulle. En hy is seker hulle kan 'n namaaksel 'n myl ver sien. Hy moet beslis weet waar die ou goed in die huis is. Nou moet hy oor sy kamer vra. Dis tog die punt van die hele ding. Okay, so in question 5, he is asking which items had to be replaced during the renovation. And he's thinking in his mind that ghosts will like the old items more because if there are new items, then the ghost would think that they are too modern. And he eventually wants to get to asking about his room, where the strange things are happening. Vraag nommer 6. Was daar baie werk aan die solderkamer verbonde? Thomas glimlag en sit sy pen neer. Dis 'n vrek goeie vraag. Hy hou van die woord verbonde. Dit klink professioneel. Die ou sal dink hy werk met iemand wat regtig wil weet en nie net wil rondkarring nie. Nee wat, dis genoeg vrae. Hy behoort die ou se kennis te kan tap met hierdie vrae. So question 6 is asking if there was a lot of work involved in renovating the attic. And he puts his pen down and is feeling quite satisfied. He's saying that Nicholas Miller would really think that this is a person who wants to find out about the house and who is not messing around. And he feels satisfied with all the questions that he wrote down now because he feels like he will get a lot of information from Nicholas Miller when asking these specific questions.